Welcome everybody to this short and sweet 15-minute sequence. Today's focus is core strength. We're going to start in our same usual place. Come to child's pose and I'll meet you there.
Okay, take a moment here to settle into your child's pose, please. You can wiggle around a little bit or a lot. Allow your physical body to come into stillness. I like to stack two fists underneath my forehead from time to time. This helps alleviate tension in your neck and shoulders, as well as in your hips. Of course, if you want to stretch your low back a little bit more, you can bring your knees together in your child's pose. If there's a version of child's pose that you know and love, you are more than welcome to take that. Just start to smooth out your breath so that your inhales and exhales match each other in length. Allow yourself to come to a place that feels soft and gentle. Always important that we start our yoga practice from that mindset. And then take 5 more breaths, please. After you finish your 5th exhale, you can gently begin to transition into your first downward facing dog. Right? All of these 15-minute sequences and all of my classes in general, especially the last year or so, I'm pretty sure start very, very similarly. I just think it's very effective. It touches on all the areas that we need to touch on to make sure we have a well-rounded practice. Right? In your down dog, you can definitely take any movement that feels organic and natural for your body. Working out any of the kinks from your night's sleep or from your day if you're practicing later on in the day. When you're ready, you'll step your big toes to touch and gently place your knees down. Walk your hands towards your knees and come into your toe squat. My favorite opening stretch. The nerves that run up and down the arches of your feet, of our feet, are similar to the nerves that run up and down our spine. Every energy center in our body is connected to the soles of our feet. Such a great place to make sure we're continuously working on and releasing tension from. Our feet support us in so many ways. It's nice to give them a little bit of love back. Untuck your toes, sit onto the tops of your feet so that you give a little bit of love to the front of your ankles. And you're just going to keep your eyes closed here, hands on your thighs. You can do a shoulder roller too if that feels nice. You can add in a gentle neck stretch or two if you like, just lowering one ear to one shoulder, or maybe just looking to one shoulder and the other. Good. If your eyes are closed, blink them open. Let's come into tabletop. So hands underneath your shoulders, separate your knees so they're about hip width distance apart, and then you're just going to tuck your toes once again like we did in our toe squat. Press into your palms, press into your shins, lengthen your heart forward. Rather, not your shins, your knees. Just make sure you're actively engaging with the earth and with your mat. And then you're going to start to slowly lift your knees just 2 inches away from the ground and hover. Right? You're floating tabletop. Keep working on lengthening the spine. Try to squeeze your bum cheeks. Feel your hamstrings engage. You can imagine that maybe you are squeezing a block between your inner thighs. And of course, maintain a smooth breath. Okay, let's take one more inhale together. On your exhale, knees will come down and you'll round your spine. Cat pose. Inhale, heart lift, stretch your belly for cow pose. And exhale, round and curl for cat. Good. A few of these on your own pace. Inhales for cow pose, spine lengthens. Exhale, round and curl, spinal flexion, belly to spine. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And you can start to come down onto your forearms. Place your left elbow down where your left hand just was, and place your right elbow down where your right hand just was. Let's keep the hands apart today. This is a great practice if you're someone who's a runner. Always important to practice 90-degree in your arms when you're running. You don't want your hands to cross the center of your body. So we'll practice that in our forearm plank today. So keep your hands shoulder width distance apart, elbows shoulder width distance apart. And then you're going to start to slide the knees back, right? Just staying on the knees for a moment until you start to feel your core engage. Try not to collapse into your shoulders, so drive your forearms down into the earth so that your shoulder blades separate from one another. And then breathe. If you want to spice it up, you can curl the toes under and lift your knees. I've already completed my workout for the day, so I'm going to keep the knees down so that I don't overdo it. Right? Yoga is about moderation, finding the perfect balance between effort and ease. So from moment to moment, that's going to be different. I want to try and find some ease here while I'm teaching you and after I've already done my workout. So I'm going to keep the knees down. Sweet. One more breath, please. And then slowly lower down all the way onto your belly. Take your elbows wide. Stack your hands underneath your forehead. I like to call this reverse Shavasana, just lying on your belly. The hands underneath your forehead are important because that will help keep your neck stable and in line with the rest of your spine. But then sweetly, you can use the knuckles of your hands to massage your forehead. Right, so do that a few times. You can wiggle your low back through your pelvis and your hips a few times. And then this is a little bit of a mindfulness exercise. I'd like you to count down 10 deep breaths from 10 all the way to 1. Right, starting now. I'm going to do it with you, so that's why there's a little bit of silence here. Wherever you are, take one more deep breath in and one more deep breath out. Excellent. You're going to take your hands by your hips. So straighten your arms beside you. Keeping your forehead on the mat. Mine's just lifted so I don't squish the mic. Keep your forehead connected to your mat so your neck is still straight and long in line with the rest of your spine. And then you're going to start to lift your legs up. So you kind of have to push down through your hips. Lift the legs up, but try not to bend at the knees. Right? So I don't care how high your legs lift, but keep pointing your toes back and lifting the legs up so they're straight. You should feel your hamstrings and your glutes do the work here. That's part of your core strength. core strength is more than just your abs. And then with your feet, imagine you rotated your big toes up towards the sky, just a little bit. So you feel your whole inner thigh spin up towards the sky, and you might feel more muscular engagement through your legs here. Glutes are squeezed. You can add the head and chest and start to lift the head and chest and broaden your collarbones, right? Imagine your collarbones were smiling and your shoulder blades will gently squeeze. Haven't added the arms yet, right? Just breathing here. Notice all the parts of your body that have to work to lift your legs, then all the parts of your body that have to work to lift your heart. And then you can start to get the shoulders involved and lift the arms if you like. If you're lifting your hands, spread your fingers to activate as much muscle as you can in your back body. And try to lift your hands higher than your shoulders to engage your upper back strength. Don't forget to breathe. Pinky toes turn down, big toes turn up, just slightly. Glutes squeezed, belly engaged, arms lifting, head lifting. Deep breath in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, release and soften. Take your hands onto your mat. Press back slowly to a downward facing dog and notice the extra stretch you're going to feel here in your low back. You might want to take several pedaling moments here. And then in your down dog, you're going to take your feet as wide as your mat. And you're going to look at your hands and you're going to bring your thumbs together. And then you have two options here. Looking at your hands, you can step or hop your feet to the outside of your hands. And you're going to sit down into your squat. Nice little knee crack on my end. That felt pretty good. Our squats have been a focal point as well in all the 15-minute sequences because, this is a really important range of motion to have in your body. I don't believe there's value in measuring our yoga progress by our physical ability. However, if there was one physical pose to use as that measurement, I would say it's this pose, right? How long can you stay in your squat, right? Minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? There's a ton of benefits to spending time in this squat. So good for your low back and your hips. So, what's your record? For this class, just 5 more breaths. Hands can be together, palms together, thumbs working towards your sternum. Maybe a little smile on your face. Do one more breath. Got a few minutes left. Bring your hands behind you, lower your seat down, and straighten your legs. Just give them a little bit of a shake. And sometimes they do stiffen up if you hold the pose for a little bit longer. All right, a little bit more core stuff here, and then we'll just rest and call it a day. So set yourself up so that your feet are hip-width distance apart, and your hands are about a palm print from your low back. Maybe about half a foot, really. But just so that it's comfortable, you can lean some weight into your palms. You can feel your feet are flat and your spine is tall. Cool? Then you're going to really push into your hands to lift your chest forward and make sure that spine is straight. Drive your bum down until you start to feel some engagement through your lower core. And then you're going to flick your toes up. So you're going to flex your feet towards you. So you're on the backs of your heels. Hands are pressing down. Glutes are pushing down. Heels are pushing down. Right? Strong connection with the earth. And then without changing too much, see if you can lift one foot up and the other so that your shin bones are parallel to the ceiling. Good. Supported boat pose. You can stay here or you can reach your arms out in front of you. Keeping the spine straight. As soon as your spine starts to round, you're losing the core work. Lift, lift, lift through your chest. Lift, lift, lift through your heels. Reach, reach, reach through your hands. One more deep breath in. And then you're going to bring your hands and feet down exactly where they just were. Same spots. Press your feet flat. Inhale, push into your feet. Lift your hips up. Reverse table. Squeeze your glutes. Actively press down
And then gently squeeze your feet towards your hips and feel your hamstrings turn on. Again, hamstring strength is a part of core strength. Glute squeezing, glute strength, part of core strength. One more deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower and bring your hips back so that your bum lands between your hands. Your feet will flex towards you. Lengthen your spine, reach your arms up. Maybe a little bend in the knees if you're tight in the hamstrings. Exhale to fold. Let your head go. Let your hands land wherever feels natural. I can grab my feet, not because I'm flexible, but because I have long arms. You work with the proportions that your body has given you. Soften into this fold for 5 more breaths, please. And release your grip, slowly roll up to seated. That's the end of our 15 minutes, folks. If you have the time to sit or lie down for at least a 2-minute rest, highly, highly recommend it. I think I'm going to go into a seated meditation from here because my body feels ready for it. See you next time. Have a great day. Thank you for practicing.